Sometimes the most important discoveries aren't made in laboratories, not in operating rooms, not in expensive clinics. Sometimes they happen right at your home in the most ordinary circumstances. And what I'm about to tell you is exactly such a story about how a simple thing that was at my home all along completely changed my approach to treating knee pain. And the most incredible part, this thing exists in practically every home. You walk past it every day without suspecting what power it has for your knee health. This happened 3 years ago. I was recovering from a minor injury, awkwardly twisted my leg during morning run, strained knee ligaments, nothing serious but unpleasant. Knee swelled, hurt, especially when bending. I, as an orthopedic surgeon, knew the protocol: rest, ice, compression, elevation. Classic. But there was one thing bothering me. I felt muscles around knee weakening quickly, literally in a few days of inactivity. I understood I needed to start doing isometric exercises, muscle contractions without joint movement, to maintain strength without loading damaged ligaments. But problem was, when I tried to tense quadriceps lying on couch, I couldn't really feel if muscle was working correctly. There was no feedback, understand? Just tension into void. And then I remembered something from my practice. Many years ago, I worked with professional athletes, and their physical therapists used various biofeedback devices, expensive sensors showing on screen how strongly muscle activated. This helped athletes learn to properly activate needed muscle groups, but I didn't have such sensors at home. And then my gaze fell on an ordinary book on shelf, thick, heavy medical encyclopedia, and it hit me. I placed this book on my thigh, just above knee, lay on back, and started doing same isometric quadriceps contraction. But now I saw a result. When muscle tensed correctly, book lifted. When I tensed wrong muscles or not strongly enough, book didn't move. This was incredible. Simple book turned into biofeedback tool. I could see, control, feel muscle work, and this completely changed quality of my exercises. Instead of just mechanically tensing, I started truly concentrating on proper activation, seeing book rise 1 centimeter, 2, 3, trying to lift it higher, holding at maximum height. My recovery went much faster than expected. After 2 weeks, I could walk without pain. After a month, returned to running. And importantly, muscles didn't lose strength during recovery. They stayed strong thanks to these simple exercises with book. But real discovery happened later. I started applying this method with patients. First was elderly man, 72, with chronic knee pain. His quadriceps practically didn't work. I placed book on his thigh and asked him to tense muscle. Book didn't budge. He tried, strained, but muscle didn't respond. Neuromuscular connection was severed by years of pain and inactivity. But then something amazing began. I started working with him, helping find right sensation, place his hand on muscle so he could feel it, asked to concentrate exactly on that area. And after a few minutes, book trembled, just tiny bit, millimeter, no more. But it was movement. His eyes widened. "I felt it," he said. We continued working. With each attempt, book lifted bit higher. He saw progress. This motivated him. This gave him concrete goal, not just tense muscle, but lift book 2 centimeters. Brain loves concrete tasks. And when there's visual feedback, neuromuscular connection restores much faster. After a month of regular home exercises with book, this patient felt significant improvement. Knee pain decreased by about 60%. He could climb stairs with much less discomfort. Muscle strengthened, started protecting joint. I started giving book as prescription to practically all patients with bad knees. Not medication, not injections, book. People looked at me strangely. "Doctor, you want me to train with a book?" Yes, exactly that. And it worked again and again. Then I started experimenting. Book is good, but what else does every person have at home that can be used? I discovered ordinary towel is incredibly versatile tool rolled into bolster and placed under knee. It creates ideal height for isometric exercises. Stretch in hands, it becomes tool for stretching and strengthening exercises. Plastic water bottle from ½ liter to 2 liters is ready adjustable weight for muscle strengthening. Start with empty bottle, gradually fill with water, increasing load. Wall in your apartment is ideal support for squats, for calf stretches, for balance exercises. Chair. Ordinary kitchen chair is universal trainer, step-ups, squats with support, single leg balance exercises with assistance. Door frame can be used for stretching. Even sock, ordinary sock stuffed with rice or beans becomes excellent soft weight for certain exercises. I was amazed. Turned out for effective knee rehabilitation, you don't need expensive machines, don't need resistance bands and exercise balls. Everything needed already exists in any home. Problem wasn't lack of equipment. Problem was lack of knowledge how to use what's already there. I started making videos for patients showing exercises with household items. These videos went viral. People wrote me. For years, I thought I needed gym, special equipment. Turns out everything was at my home. Exactly. Everything was always there. One patient wrote me particularly touching message. She was retiree on very limited budget. Knee pain tormented her for years, but she couldn't afford expensive physical therapy or home equipment. When she saw my videos with book and towel exercises, she cried. First time in years, I felt hope. Because this I can do. I have books and towels. She started exercising. Every day, 15 minutes. Book on thigh for isometric quadriceps contractions. Towel under knee for same exercises at different angle. Wall for squats. Chair for step-ups. After 3 months, her pain practically disappeared. She sent me photo. She's standing holding that very book with huge smile on face. This discovery changed not only my rehabilitation approach, but my understanding of what people really need. Medicine often complicates things. We prescribe expensive procedures, recommend specialized equipment, send to physical therapy courses costing hundreds of dollars, and all this has its place. But for most people with ordinary knee pain not requiring surgery, everything necessary for recovery already exists at home. See the key point? It's not about book. Book is just tool. Key is biofeedback, visualizing muscle work, creating concrete measurable goal. When patient sees book rising on their thigh, they understand muscle works. They can track progress. Today, book lifted 1 centimeter in week 2. This creates motivation, shows result, makes abstract muscle strengthening concrete and tangible. And here's what else matters. When people don't need to buy special equipment, when everything's already home, main obstacle disappears. No excuses. No, I don't have money for a resistance band. No, I need to first buy exercise ball. There's book on shelf, there's towel in bathroom, there's chair in kitchen. Can start right now. Not tomorrow, not sometime. Now, psychologically, this is huge difference. When person thinks I need to first buy something, it creates barrier, postponement. But when understanding comes, I can start right now with what I have. This removes all justifications. And people actually start. I also discovered exercises with household items are psychologically perceived as less intimidating, especially for elderly or those who never played sports. Gym machines can seem frightening, incomprehensible, but book, towel, chair, these are familiar, safe objects. This lowers psychological barrier to starting. Moreover, when person trains at home with ordinary objects, it easily fits into daily routine. Don't need to go to gym, don't need to change into sportswear, can do exercises in morning before breakfast, in pajamas, with book on thigh, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. This isn't perceived as workout, it's just part of morning ritual. I started teaching other doctors and physical therapists this approach. Many were skeptical at first. This is too simple. Patients won't take it seriously. But those who tried were amazed by results. Patients not only took it seriously, they were grateful. grateful for accessibility, for simplicity, for being given tools they can use for life. One of my colleagues, physical therapist, told me after she started using this approach, number of patients actually performing home exercises grew from 30% to 80. 80% because exercises became doable, accessible, not requiring special conditions. Now, 3 years after that first experience with book On My Own Thigh, I can confidently say this was one of most important discoveries of my career. Not new surgical technique, not innovative drug. Simple realization that to help most people with bad knees, everything necessary already exists at their home. Book, towel, chair, wall, water bottle. These simple objects can be difference between life in pain and life in motion, between dependence on painkillers and freedom from pills, between thinking about surgery and recovering without scalpel. So if your knees hurt, if you thought you needed expensive equipment or special conditions for recovery, I want you to look around. Look at what's in your home right now. That book on shelf, that towel in closet, that chair at table, all this tools of your healing, they were there all along. Just nobody showed you how to use them. Now you know. And this knowledge can change everything.